Jessica on 94.5 ESPN.
Don't put your life on hold to earn a degree. Lakeland University has a long history of making students' dreams come true. Since 1862, build a schedule that meets your needs with options for 7 and 12-week courses, evening classes, and the ability to join classes remotely. Lakeland University is Wisconsin's leader in evening and online education. They have a main campus in Sheboygan County and 6 centers throughout the whole state. Lakeland University. Affordable, quality, flexible. Find out your next steps at info.lakeland.edu.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. For most men, there's nothing we want more than to stay young, fit, and active, which is why our New Year's resolutions usually include some form of getting in shape. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown are here to help you reach those goals. Testosterone optimization helps with muscle mass and tone, as well as weight management and having the energy and endurance to get in the gym. Forward Healthy Lifestyles also offers weight loss programs like semaglutide to help combat those endless holiday temptations. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation. Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee, alongside former Packer Brian Balaga. Here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
Yeah, the best 60 minutes of your life. Or maybe it's a little less. The Homer Hour does not discriminate on the basis of a person's color, sex, race, religion, national origin, ancestry, creed, pregnancy, marital status, sexual orientation, or physical, mental, emotional, or learning disability, or any other characteristic protected by state or federal law. But when the Dr. Brian Bulaga is on, you say something about bad about the University of Iowa, we will get you. Actually, what I read was what they had on the back of the information for the Christmas singing by our granddaughter, who is in first grade. And I thought, man, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I thought the creed would be similar to religion, national origin would be similar to ancestry, but no. I think they got about 14 or 15. I'm afraid maybe if anything's left out, but I just want to let everybody know that we have the same standard as the school district where they did this thing. By the way, I'd like to thank my wife for going to all the similar events for our 3 kids, because it was the most boring thing I've ever done in my life. I would have fallen asleep, but I thought somebody would have noticed and made fun of me. They get the kindergarten kids out there, the first grade. They can't sing. They can't do anything. But all the parents are happy, I guess. It was a packed house. So maybe I'm just a bad person.
Let me tell you.
I will never be going again.
I got to tell you, I got to thank my wife because she's at my kid's Christmas pageant right now. So
yeah. Have you ever gone to one before?
No, I have not.
There's a certain age at which they have some talent, so that I would like to go. But
I don't know if that's in my kid's future.
Well,
to be honest with you,
you don't have a good singing gene, or
no?
Oh, that's what it is.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, we don't either. Just no gift whatsoever. Actually, I don't know that I can prove it, but I do think there's a connection between singing and artist. Like, I think people that sing actually have some art skills. I think singing is an art, kind of like drawing and stuff like that. Because I have neither of either, and I think there's a connection there, but I can't prove it. So I
don't have that either. Don't worry, you're not alone.
Yeah, no, and you know it. It doesn't change. It's not like all of a sudden you wake up one day and you can sing. I don't know because I can't sing. Pebble, can you sing? I don't know at what age you know you can sing.
Some people call me the songbird of my generation, Homer. So yeah, I can sing.
No, so at what age did you know you could?
I'm joking.
I don't know. What do you mean? How would I know that's not the truth?
I have no idea. No,
I don't look at you and go. I don't look at you or anybody and go. That person can't sing. No, it has nothing to do. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to ask somebody who I know who can sing. My wife's family has some singing and art, again, the combo. So our daughter has had a reasonable chance. She's not terrible, so she's better than any on our side of the family. But anyway, enough on that. I just want everybody to know that we're adhering to whatever the standards are. If a school district has a certain standard, I'd like to think, Doctor, that we're up to the same standard.
Of course.
Yeah.
We definitely have a standard.
I don't care, but I've covered that up by the doctor of football because he welcomes everybody and thanks everybody. I've decided I am now calling them the amazing Green Bay Packers because I think that's what they are. I don't think anybody can argue that. There's not a person alive who doesn't think that about this team right now. I mean, it could change if they lost a couple, but right now they are the amazing Green Bay Packers, right?
They certainly are playing to a standard that is, I hate to say amazing because
What?
amazing is man, I think the 49ers are playing amazing.
Yeah, but the Packers
what I mean?
weren't thought to be the gap from what expectations were, and I would emphasize how poorly they were playing to the way they've played the last couple games. I'm sorry. That's not amazing. I don't know what is.
Well, it's amazingly different
Yes.
than what they showed the first,
Yeah.
from the middle of the kind of season. But I just look at the team and I just think they're doing a really, really nice job. And not just, we could all talk about Jordan Love and kind of what he's been doing because I think his play has been pretty amazing recently. That is one guy that I'll say he's been playing pretty amazing and kind of to see his growth. But I just look at the entire roster from, who we thought would be the projected stars and starters to guys that we didn't really hear about, know much about, stepping up and playing a big role this season, especially defensively. A lot of guys that we didn't really talk about much, didn't care to talk about much because we didn't think they'd get on the field, and here they are, and they're playing great. So I think there's a lot of praise to go around. And, I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the coaching because I think early on in the season, especially when they were struggling, everyone and ourselves and we're pretty quick to jump on LaFleur and say, is he the problem? Right? Is this guy the problem?
He was doing a horrible job. They had a young team, and there didn't seem to be any evidence that he could coach a young team. I mean, come on, they were playing horrible, and
They were playing horrible, yes.
Given that the amazing improvement, yes, he deserves the credit. I don't know how anybody can argue with your premise. Like he's proven that. I mean, no one argued that he wasn't a good coach because he won 39 games. But the question was, how does he handle a young team? And right now, it would appear that he handled it perfectly because there's no way he can get anything but an A for the level of their play now, given how young they are. And no Aaron Jones, no Jair Alexander. Literally everything most have said, myself included, has been wrong. Hey, you got to have Aaron Jones. They got no Aaron Jones, and their offense is still as good. They got to have Jair Alexander. They got no Jair Alexander, and the defense is getting better.
Yeah, and I know it happened early on, but no Bakhtiari since Chicago.
Yes.
Right? No starting left tackle, no all-pro left tackle, and they've been able to do this. So to me, I just the job that obviously LaFleur, Stenovich, Barry, Bisaccia, all those guys have done getting their groups ready to play, and then obviously LaFleur being the head guy and kind of getting everything to gel together. I think that's been pretty special to see how it's coming on. And you're right. There were questions. Can he handle this young of a roster? He's always had that veteran roster in Green Bay, starting with when I was first there, and it stayed somewhat veteran until last year. And then the team had a pretty big drop-off in performance. And now, the season started out, it was even younger roster, and they won their first game. They sputtered for a while, and everyone was thinking, hey, does he know how to kind of handle a young group and not a veteran roster? And we've kind of seen him adjust kind of his approach to calling the games, and especially early on with Jordan Love, protected him a little bit, and now kind of letting him go. He kind of giving that trust in him. Hey, I've seen enough that I know you can do this. Let's take the training wheels off and let's roll. And ever since that, I mean, again, and I'll say it, that Pittsburgh game stands out to me because that was the first game I felt that the training wheels were off and we're playing big boy ball now. And ever since then,
what did you see? And if you said it then, I didn't agree with you, so I didn't listen that closely. What did you see? You've said that. Jason said that. And I think kind of LaFleur said that. But
yeah, I just think when I watch that game, just the way he pushed the ball down the field, he had confidence in pushing the ball down the field. I think before that game, there was a lot of chatter about how he hadn't completed X amount of balls downfield and this and that, and that he wasn't an accurate thrower down the field. And even with all those statistics and probably chatter in his ear, the dude did it, and I thought he did it well. The 2 picks, again, in that game, we can go back and talk about that. That I don't think those were on him. But he showed confidence in that game, in a game that not many people thought they'd win, and they didn't win, but he held that team in it for pretty much to the end. He got him back in scoring position at the end of the game to tie it and do all that stuff, and he showed a lot of poise and confidence at the quarterback position. And he was running the offense the way it was intended to be run that game because they had to. And to me, when I watched it, I was like, you know what? This is a turning point. It's going to get better from here because this is the type of offense that Matt LaFleur wants. If the other guys catch up, which they did slowly but surely, and now we're seeing everyone on the same page, if the other guys start to catch up, this thing could be really nice. And here we are. Now, did I expect them to rattle off back-to-back Detroit and KC? No, I didn't. I didn't expect it. I did not expect it, but when you watch the performances, you should. I should expect it. I mean, now I expect it all the time. I expect that level all the time. And there's nothing about this team that tells me otherwise that we shouldn't expect it now.
What you alluded to it. We have Jason Wilde on because Brian Bulaga, the doctor of football, has questions he wants to ask him. I'll get to watch the Bucs game. What is the type of offense that LaFleur wants? And I ask that because all the time that Aaron Rodgers was running it, there was the belief how much of this is LaFleur and how much of it was LaFleur smart enough to let Rodgers do whatever he wanted, regardless of whether it was always part of the offense or not part of the offense. So how would you, again, give you the junior high level, what is the type of offense that Matt LaFleur wants so that, like, when you see one thing that says it is versus when you didn't see it, you knew it really wasn't his offense?
Yeah, I think the thing that jumps off the page to me, the first play against the Chiefs, the jet reverse or whatever, I forgot what we called it, but that is the Matt LaFleur offense. It is lots of motion, lots of ghost motion, lots of eye candy for the defense, pulling defenses one ways and play action and fast zone run game. And that's what we kind of saw to
Hold
open
on.
up that.
What is a fast zone run game? I don't have any idea.
So when I first, was introduced to this offense in 2019, they ran zone, and he wanted the zone run game to be
okay. Zone means you as an offensive lineman don't do a player, you do an area. Is that right?
Yes. There is a player in your area, and it's simple. You count 1, 2, and 3, right? And that's who you're blocking, or 0, 1, 2, 3. So centers block 0, guards block 1, tackles block number 2, tight ends block number 3. So when the center makes his ID, that's number 0. That's who the center's rolling to. Or that could be considered 1 if there's a shade. It just depends on the combo block. But the way that they wanted us to run and run fast, reach aiming points, jump reach guys, cut guys out of gaps was not something I was familiar with. And what that all set up into was the play action game that we're now starting to see with the Packers. You saw it kind of happen when they ran the ball successfully against the Chiefs. The play action game then opens up. The defenses play a little bit softer. You get guys coming up to the line of scrimmage, and those hole shots get in behind the linebackers. And that's this offense. It's fast. It's up tempo. You saw Jordan Love at the line with this offense. They weren't huddling all the time. I love that. I was calling for that a long time ago, where they just huddle. They're at the line of scrimmage. The couple play calls come into his helmet, and he decides and goes. And that's what I love to see. And that is the Matt LaFleur offense. It's high tempo, high speed, play action, lots of motion, lots of movement. And we're finally starting to see that, because I feel like guys are finally understanding the concept of it. Obviously, the guys up front are more confident. They're blocking better. When you block better, you can do more, not just in the run game, but in the pass game. And everything's coming together. And it's so fun to watch, because that's exactly how I remember it my first year, when it all clicked. It was so much fun. So that's why I'm really enjoying this right now. It's really a pleasure to watch it, because when it looks good, man, it looks good. And that's why everyone enjoys watching the 49ers, not because they got Deebo Samuel and Kittle and McCaffrey. Yeah, those guys are studs. But that offense and what it does to defenses is what's fun. And the Packers, that know they don't have the same weapons as the 49ers, but, man, they're executing at a high level.
What were they not doing when they were struggling? I mean, they weren't executing, but were they not running? Were they not doing as much motion? Were they not? I mean, everything.
Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, they weren't doing it. They were blown assignments left and right. They were. Right. I mean, you watch it. I mean, and when guys are blown assignments, the coaches don't want to call that, because they then understand these guys. They're not understanding this. They're not blocking it correctly. Even the receivers aren't blocking it correctly. We can't do it, so we got to try something different. And the offense was very plain Jane and vanilla. It was very basic, and that's kind of where they were, and that's why we saw really basic results from the offense. It wasn't very good. Now I feel like something's clicked with these guys, and they got it. And now they're able to run this offense, and things are going so much more smoothly. And the yards are coming, the chunk plays are coming, just the first downs, everything you see is just clicking along, and that's how this offense is meant to be run.
I hope you got some questions ready for Jason Wilde. Quarter 2, he's next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have an issue in Sheboygan County. Highway 32 southbound is closed at Playbird Road because of a crash. All southbound traffic needs to take 42 to County J, just south of I-43. Then you can take that back to Highway 32. And northbound, you just do it in reverse. So keep that in mind if you're going to be heading through that area. A little closer into town, we are seeing some backups along eastbound 94 from about 84th Street through the stadium. The westbound side does have an accident in the stadium interchange that's being worked on. It's in the Gore right at 175. Then we've also got one more on northbound 94 just before you get into the Mitchell interchange off on the left. Traffic is brought to you by Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive. For a fun family activity, visit or volunteer on December 9th. For more information, visit kidstokidstoydrive.com. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, partly cloudy and mild with a low of 41. Tomorrow, increasing clouds with a high of 55. Weather's brought to you by Adams Generators, the #1 rated Generac dealer in Wisconsin. Call for your free quote today at 262-944-2010 for power peace of mind, or visit adamspower.com/generators. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Okay, it's happening.
Sound the alarms.
Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm.
Everyone to their positions.
Everybody calm down.
It's time.
For everybody that is wondering if we're back, if the Pack is back.
The Pack is back.
The Green and Gold are back to 500 and looking to make some noise down the stretch.
This is playoff team. Duh. The most obvious thing ever.
We are your home for Green and Gold talk and the Green Bay Playoff Plunge. 94.5 ESPN.
Discount liquor. Did you know that George Washington served his own homemade version of eggnog made with rum, rye whiskey, and sherry? Well, a lot's changed since the days of our first president, but one constant has been celebrating the holiday season and upcoming new year with family, friends, and loved ones. Hi, this is Marie from Discount Liquor. 'Tis the season to check out Discount Liquor's tremendous selection of over 2,000 varieties of beer, 3,000 types of liquor, and over 8,000 wines from around the world. And yes, we do carry 8 varieties of ready-to-drink eggnog. Celebrate this most festive time with a great selection of beautifully packaged liquor gift sets, sure to make you the hit of the party or as a perfect gift for the liquor connoisseur on your shopping list. Discount Liquor, 2 locations in Milwaukee on 51st in Oklahoma and in downtown Waukesha on Main and Barstow.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings. Discount Liquor.
See all of our weekly specials at discountliquorinc.com.
ESPN Milwaukee's Gabe Neitzel. I've spent a while telling you about Mentality because it works. Not just for me, though. Take it from fellow Mentality user Jason. He's got a new lease on life thanks to Mentality.
Process was easy. It really, truly was. And the individuals that work at Mentality, very helpful, very respectful. It was an easy in, easy out. You go in a week after, they give you the results right away. And once you find that you're able to do it, just that thought, the energy already picked up a little bit. Most of it could have been mentally wise, but knowing that, hey, I get to start this, it was incredible.
Learn more today at LoTUSA.com.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. Jason Wilde is brought to you by Boucher Automotive, where we ride with you every mile. 18 dealerships, 15 brands, and thousands of vehicles in stock. Check them out at Boucher.com.
I never know the questions the doctor of football, Brian Bulaga, is going to ask for Jason Wood. I mean, he watches the game twice. They're always good. And not only that, he also is the kindest. So take it away, Doc.
Jason, good evening. How we doing tonight?
You know, I really love these Thursdays with you two, even though Homer makes them so weird.
Yep.
He never wants to ask a question.
I know. I'm a backup. I got questions for Jason, but you wanted him on Thursday, and I will quote the doctor. I wanted Jason on to talk to him about the upcoming game for questions, and that's why he's on. Take it away, Doc.
Happy to be here. All right, Doc.
Happy to have you here, Jason. So I guess I want to first start. I mean, I was reading today the injury list. It seems long again. What are you seeing on who's going to be available, who's not going to be available? I get, the teams been playing well, and they've been missing Aaron Jones. They've been missing Jair. Now Quay Walker pops up on there. Who's going to be available this week? Because it looks like a pretty long list of guys that, and obviously it was Watson. I bet he's doubtful, but what are you hearing?
By the way, I do not believe Jair will ever play another down for the Green Bay Packers. Put me on that.
Ever.
So I don't know if I agree with that, but
I'm sure you don't.
I don't think it's completely far-fetched, but I don't think you're right. So Watson, Quay Walker, and Darnell Savage were the 3 guys that did not practice. It's so odd. It's 5:22, and I still don't have an injury report from the Packers, so I don't know if the Giants practiced late or what the holdup is, but we're waiting on that. Now, Aaron Jones did take part. Now, how much he did, Matt LaFleur didn't really want to say. So I'm guessing he wants to kind of make the Giants think he might be able to play. I would think he's probably another week away, knowing what I do about running backs and MCL injuries. Demovsky, on behalf of our little cabal of cooperative reporters, talked to Christian Watson today, And Christian Watson says it again, as we already knew. It's the same hamstring, but a different location. Obviously, it's a long muscle, but it's a different location in the same hamstring that he injured at the end of camp that cost him 3 games. So he did not sound particularly encouraged about playing this week, but it's not as severe as it was the last time, according to him. So that's obviously encouraging. And then we don't know what the actual injuries are yet for Walker and Savage, because those have not been released by the Packers to this point. So we'll have to wait and see on that. But you're right. I mean, look, the thing about the Watson thing is the biggest thing to me, because he's finally starting to play well and have an impact. The last 2 games, he's been really good. And the last thing you need now is for him to be sidelined by a hamstring yet again, but it appears that's exactly what's going to happen on Monday night.
Yeah, it's tough, because you're right. He's been playing well, and he's been kind of that go-to guy for Love in this kind of, last few games. Detroit, Kansas City, he's been finding them and finding them often. So it's tough. And with that, you have to expect Reed, Dobbs to see more action. I mean, those guys are all healthy, correct? I mean, no injuries there, I'd hope, for those guys.
Yeah, Reed's got that, whatever the chest injury is, which he's been evasive about what exactly it is, which I get. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I would assume that he's kind of operating under the thought process that if I don't tell anybody what it is, maybe opponents can't aim for it. I don't know if it's a rib or what it is, but it is chest on the injury report. Look, I am a huge Wicks guy. I just think that he's got the potential, to use Homer's word, to be special. Mm-hmm. So I think having him available...
Really? That good? Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, the potential. Now,
I don't know.
Remember,
what about Reed? More so than Reed?
I think Reed has... really great skill set to be able to be, and he used this phrase, so I'm not meaning it to be degrading, but to be a gadget guy, in addition to being a really effective slot guy and a guy that can go outside. I think he's a younger version of Cobb. Now, I understand what Randall Cobb is at this point in his career, and he's been inactive for some games in New York now that Rodgers isn't quarterbacking them and appears to not be going to be quarterbacking them again this season despite his efforts. But when Cobb was at the top of his game, you can ask the doctor here, he was his teammate. I mean, that 14 season, he was one of the best receivers in football, along with Jordy Nelson. And so, does Reed have that potential? I think so. But, these guys we're all predicating this on the Homer rule of young players, which is, look at what they do when they do well. Don't look at what they do when they do poorly, because this is a better barometer for what they're capable of. And I think both those guys have the capability of being special, but having the capability or the potential to do that, as we all know, is different than actually doing it. So both those guys have a million miles to go in their NFL journey. So I'm not saying for certain either one will turn out that way, but you see the glimpses. And you saw the glimpses from Watson, too. I mean, remember last year during that 4-game stretch, I mean, he was doing something that, and the NFL put this stat out, he did something with those 7 touchdowns in 4 games that no rookie wide receiver had done since Randy Moss in 1998. So, again, he's a valuable piece. If they don't have him, they do have some other options. But with the way Watson has been playing lately, they are a much better offense with him on the field.
Yeah. And then running back, I'm assuming Taylor has got a job. He's going to stay on the 53, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, first of all, he has to for at least 3 games because he was signed off of a practice squad of another team. And the rule is if you sign somebody off someone else's practice squad, they have to at least get 3 games on your roster. But they don't they added Kenyon Drake, and I'm not a fantasy football player, but I know that name. He's obviously had production, and that name gets people excited. But I don't know if the Kenyon Drake that they signed to the practice squad is quite the same guy that he was when he had 900 and some yards and 10 touchdowns for the Dolphins. I mean, he was drafted in 2016. He and James Robinson, who was released to make room for him, have both kind of gone through this, journey of they're pretty good players for a year or two, and now they are having a hard time. I think the Packers are like his 5th or 6th team for Kenyon Drake in the last year and a half. So it's, I wouldn't expect him to usurp Patrick Taylor, but I would expect him to probably be up for the game as kind of that emergency third running back and see if he can do anything to contribute. But that would be pretty quick to get caught up, and I think Patrick Taylor will be the guy that spells A.J. Dillon when necessary.
Yeah. So in the locker room, are any guys even giving you an inkling that they think they can run the table and go 5-0? Or are they just telling you?
What a question!
Are they just kind of giving you the run of the mill? We're taking this thing 1 week at a time spiel. What's kind of the vibe you're getting out of the guys in the locker room? Obviously, they got to be excited. They're riding this roller coaster, and it's on its way up right now. What's kind of the messaging you've been getting from guys?
Yeah, it's basically as if when Brian Bulaga was an honorary captain and came back, he gave them a speech to say, be as boring as you can when you start to win, and don't give them anything to work with. Until you're toward the end of your career, and then you realize, hey, I'm a pretty smart guy who can be a pretty quotable guy. I can win a Tom Mulhern Award, and someday parlay that into a gig with Uncle Homer. They're totally not taking any of that bait. I mean, they're just not. They're not talking playoffs. They're not talking how, like Rob Domofsky tried with Love today to basically point out, look, you beat some teams that all had winning records, that all were favored against you, that a lot of people didn't think you would win those games, and you won them. Are you now, do you have to guard against overconfidence given that the last 5 teams you play are all 500 or worse? And he would not go anywhere near that question. And, the good thing about this, and, you got to this point in your career, Tausch got to the point in his career where you had a little more leeway. You had built up a level of respect, and you knew that sometimes some things needed to be said publicly to maybe light a fire under guys or remind guys about, something important like focus or whatever it might have been. These young guys, man, if Matt LaFleur tells them to just tell knock-knock jokes every time somebody asks about the playoffs, they're young enough that they'll say, well, Coach told me to tell you knock-knock jokes, so knock-knock. That's where they're at right now. There's not a lot of guys that would come out and say something, hey, look, we got to do the work, but, yeah, we can win all these games. I mean, we got to take it 1 week. Like, they don't even come into that realm. And I get it. They're all young guys who are just trying to do the right thing, but down deep, having played the game yourself, they're feeling themselves. They're smart enough not to talk about it to this point, or they're indoctrinated enough not to talk that way to this point, but they know that they have come a long, long way from 2-5 to be sitting where they are.
All right, here we go. Who's the cockiest? I think it would be Jair that you could go to that, like when the Packers were great, Leroy Butler was the one who said they would go 16-0 after they won the first Super Bowl. So I don't know who's left. Who would you go to and say, this guy will let her fly? Do they even have somebody?
I don't think. I mean, Bakhtiari might have been that guy.
Yeah, but who's left? Keyshawn?
Of the guys that are...
Yeah.
No. I mean, not even Keyshawn Nixon, I don't think.
Rasul would have been it. He's gone, too.
He would have been the guy.
Yeah.
I miss him.
Come on, find the guy, Jason. That's what you do.
I can't conjure up a guy who doesn't exist.
No, there's someone there. He's hiding on you. Give it a night's thought, and you can find someone who will admit they can go 5-0 and say it.
Nope.
Oh.
No, I don't think so.
There's no one there. I mean, and Jason said, they're a young team, and I guarantee you what LaFleur says in that team meeting, they are taking that to heart. I guarantee it. Guarantee it.
I know, but there's somebody with a little something extra.
Well, because even if you look at the veteran guys like Kenny, Preston, those guys aren't going to say that. Those guys aren't going to say anything like that. They just won't. They're.
I'll tell you the guy that would do it, but he's nowhere near being in a position to do it.
Now
Malik
we're talking.
Heath.
Oh.
Malik Heath
Oh, yeah. Yeah, played with
He's got
Terrell
kind
Buckley.
of that personality.
Yeah.
He's fun. He's
Ole Miss,
outgoing.
right?
He's kind of a free-spirited guy. He's obviously had some pretty good moments the last couple of weeks. Had a drop on that sliding catch, but then came right back.
Hey, Ole Miss, what's the most positive you could say that you really believe about this team so you won't get in trouble with the coaches?
Well, I'm not. It's a fun topic to discuss with you two. I am not.
I know.
Here's one of the, and Brian, and I think Brian knows this. Like, one of the things that, like, there are guys throughout the years that have done this job that they wanted to get something inflammatory, something that would be clickbait, if you will. And I was actually the other way, because I always was thinking long term, and that if a guy, let's say Brian, bumped his head on the shower and experienced some amnesia when he came into the locker room when the media was there, and he said something boastful, which Brian Bulaga did not do as a player. That was just, even when he was one of the best right tackles in football, he didn't do that. But let's say he bumped his head and he forgot who he was, and he started talking like he was, Keyshawn Johnson. In the interest of a long-term working relationship, if I felt like, if it was good enough and you couldn't, and there were a bunch of people around, you had to write it, right? But if it was just me and him and he said something outlandish like, I'm the best tackle in NFL history, I wasn't going to put that in a story just because it was inflammatory, because it wasn't going to do me any good. So I would never come up to Malik Heath with an effort to basically say, hey, I'm going to try and get you to say something that's going to get a lot of attention and a lot of clicks and give us a lot to talk about on the radio, because he's in a precarious position. Like, it's not like he's that good that he can talk smack, right? Like, there are a lot of other Malik Heaths out there. So I would never want to put a guy in that position that would hurt their long-term prospects with the team for a short-term gain of, hey, boy, did I get a great quote today that I can talk about with Tausch.
Come on, Homer.
Hold on. I'm not going to.
Come on.
No. I'm not. I wasn't trying to do that. I said, how far would you go? Are you willing to go? And then, all right. Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome, guys. Take care. Be good.
See, that's why I let you ask the questions, or otherwise, Jason and I are going to get into something. On a budget, need a diamond. I tell everybody to go other places than Robert Heck Diamonds. Why would I do that? Because you go other places, and as long as you go to Robert Heck Diamonds, you go, wow, I get more for less. Yep. They have a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds. They get it. These are diamonds. They're grown in a lab, but all that does is speed up Earth's natural process of making diamonds. So you get incredible prices. They know the manufacturers. So go everywhere else. Just make sure you go to Robert Heck Diamonds. When you do, you'll buy because you get more for less. And you'll say, how did Homer know? RobertHeckDiamonds.com. Back to No Homer versus Jason. Quarter 3 next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We have the left lane blocked on westbound 94 right in the stadium interchange with a crash. So watch out for the delays stretching all the way back to the Marquette. Southbound 43, very heavy ride right now from Silver Spring all the way down to Fond du Lac Avenue. Actually continues all the way down through the Marquette onto 4394. Northbound side slow from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. And then along eastbound 94, we're also seeing backups from 92nd Street all the way through the stadium interchange. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight. Partly cloudy and mild, a low of 41. Tomorrow, increasing clouds with a high of 55. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Play Whistling Straits and other Pro Tour courses, whatever the weather is, in one of their 12 state-of-the-art simulators.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
With your Saganiac Piney Marquette recap, I'm Chris Larson. The 8th-ranked Golden Eagles led by as many as 32 points as they cruised to an 86-65 victory over number 12 Texas at Fiserv Forum. Senior point guard Tyler Kolek stuffed the stat sheet, finishing with 28 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. His 4th career game with at least 25, 5, and 5. He also added 3 steals in 31 minutes of action.
Kolek, he's going to try a 3. You got it. Oh, baby, listen to that crowd.
MU improves to 7-2 overall. They welcome Notre Dame to Fiserv Forum Saturday night.
For over 40 years, the folks at Network Health have been trusted experts in health insurance. Honest, hardworking, just like you, Wisconsin. Whether you need coverage for yourself, your family, or your employees, they've got you covered with individual family marketplace plans, employer plans, and Medicare plans. At Network Health, they do what's right because it's who they are. Call Aaron Belowski, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Must be at least 18 years old. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. See Sleeper Support Center for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-522-4700 for help. Think you know sports? Then try to turn your sports knowledge into real money with the Sleeper app, the ultimate fantasy sports app that can turn game day into payday. Just download the Sleeper app and pick your favorite sports and players, like football star Bryce Young. With more stats than any other sports app, just choose 2 or more of your favorite players. From pregame, live, or even across different sports. Pick more or less from the predicted stats and ka-ching. You could win up to 100 times your money if your pick wins. With the Sleeper app, you can make picks anytime, even after the game starts. Check out Sleeper today and unlock one of the fastest growing fantasy sports apps in the world. Download right now and get up to a $100 deposit match. Use promo code Milwaukee and you'll get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Just go to the App Store, download the Sleeper app today, and remember to use code Milwaukee for up to a $100 match on your first deposit. That's promo code Milwaukee.
Give the gift of a special night out from the Bartolotta Restaurants. Purchase a gift card at Bartolottas.com and get a $20 holiday bonus for every $100 you spend. Happy holidays from all of us at the Bartolotta Restaurants, and thank you, Milwaukee.
Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Someone asked me today, do you know anything else that's a half hour south of Franklin other than the American Place Casino? Because you said it 1,000 times, Homer. I said, no, I don't, but I'll work on that. American Place Casino, a half hour south of Franklin. Just a half hour south of Franklin. American Place Casino, just a half hour south of Franklin. Located in Lake County, Illinois. Yeah, they have exciting table games. Yeah, they have a sports book. Yeah, you can go to AmericanPlace.com and get the deals. But when you think of Homer and American Place Casino, you think of one thing and one thing only. It's just a half hour south of Franklin. With the Dr. Brian Bulaga, did you get all the questions you had for Jason?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I like to, when I get Jason on, because he's there daily and he kind of gets to see the guys and talk to guys. And, you know, but my first question always is the injury report, because it's such an important thing weekly for this team to have as many guys.
Yeah, but I want to ask you, you remember when you were playing, couldn't you believe the injury report? When you looked at the injury report, well, how many weeks did you go, wow, if they only knew the truth? How much of it is legit? What percentage of reality is the injury report?
I think it's legit. I think it's, you know, listen, there's gamesmanship up and down.
Right. Is it 50%? Is it 80%?
As in guys are actually injured that are on the report?
Well, no, you look at the injury report and you say, oh, wow. You know, that's reasonably close. It's never going to be 100% because we know what teams do. But that's different than as a player thinking, I don't even know why they do the damn thing. It's such a joke. Or, it's reasonably accurate, and that's what I'm.
Yeah, as a player, I like to look at it from week to week. The one I really cared about would be a perfect example of why I love having Jason on Thursday is the Thursday practice injury report, because Thursday for every team, pretty much in the NFL, is their heavy work day. Right? If a guy can practice on Thursday and he's limited or full participant Thursday, it's a pretty good indication that he's going to be playing in the game or will be good enough to play in the game. If a guy does not participate on Thursdays, it's a little sign that potentially he may not even be available on Sunday. And if he is available on Sunday, he's not anywhere near 100%. So as a player, I always like to see what defensive guys were participating in practice and what things they had nicked up on. Like, if people looked at my injury report weekly, it was going to say knee every week. And like, that was just what it was. It was a knee every week, and that's what I dealt with every week. And that was the life of it. But with guys get little nicks and knacks throughout the season. And, you like to see that. If a guy pops up, hey, what did this guy hurt? And then you kind of see, oh, he's got a knee issue. So you follow that throughout the week. On Thursday, he didn't practice. Oh, wow, okay. So he's not 100% on that thing. He's not even good enough to practice on their heaviest workload day. How effective is he going to be on Sunday? And those are just little things that you like to look at. Now, obviously, there's teams that play that. They may play the game a little bit, more deceivingly than other teams. But, you kind of got to read through that and take everything with a grain of salt. But I think the Packers play it pretty straight by the book, at least from my experience. They're pretty straight with it. So if guys are on the injury report, they're on the injury report for a reason.
No, I'm saying right now, you've just taught me one thing as far as the injury report. Thursday's the key.
Yeah, Thursday's a big key.
Right? So
Thursday's a big key.
They have them all the other days. I'm not going to give a hoot. Say the doc says Thursday because that's the biggest day of practice.
Yep. Fridays are kind of jog through, walk through. If a guy doesn't participate Friday, oh well. Saturday doesn't matter. Wednesday's the first practice.
Well, yeah. Why wouldn't Wednesday? Because Wednesday you have Tuesday off. Wednesday's too early. I would have thought that Wednesday would be the biggest day of practice.
Nope. They still give guys time to recover on Wednesday. So you'll see a lot of veteran did not participate or veterans being limited to did not participate. That's just the way it is. Thursday's the day. Thursday's always the day.
We usually ask for callers on Monday. We didn't ask for callers today, but we got Raleigh. He will start the fourth quarter next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. Calling all brass and percussion players. Join the Salvation Army and help them continue their annual Red Kettle campaign with a blast. The Big Brass Blast. On December 16th, the Salvation Army is forming a giant British-style brass band in the tradition of Salvation Army bands of the past. Want to be a part of this band? Visit samilwaukee.org to register. Be part of the Big Brass Blast and get everyone in the spirit of the season by playing Christmas music. Donations to the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign support dozens of programs and services for those in need this holiday season.
Homer here. There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds. Guys, these are diamonds. They're just grown in a laboratory, which speeds up the process. At Robert Hack Diamonds, you can get a 1-carat diamond for under $600 and 2-carat diamonds, many of which go for under $1,000. Manufacturer prices are dropping fast. And Robert Hack Diamonds wants to help you save money while also giving you a great product. Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. Stop in today. Robert Hack in Greenfield on Layton Avenue or Brookfield on Greenfield Avenue. And shop their whole lab-grown diamond and jewelry selection at roberthackdiamonds.com. Remember, great product, great price. roberthackdiamonds.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 10 to 12 count or 10 to 12 ounce selected varieties Folgers or Dunkin' Donuts coffee, $6.99. 18 to 80 count selected varieties Hefty trash bags, $7.99. 23.6 to 36 ounce selected varieties Edwards cream pies, $5.99. 5 to 8 ounce selected varieties Sargento shredded cheese, 2 for $6.
Look at those brats. You do tailgating right. Absolutely. Did you see the spread out there? You've got enough food to feed the entire lot. I'm splurging now and then hoping to win $700 in free groceries. $700? Yeah, it's all part of the 70th anniversary at Century Foods. No kidding. Next week, I'll do the shopping. Maybe I'll score $700 in groceries. All you need is the weekly code. It's on Century's Facebook or Instagram. Oh, Oh, I just remembered. I'll be out of town next week. Yeah, right, cheapskate.
Ends January 3rd.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, this is the Fat Jack, and it's pre-bowl season, but that doesn't mean we're not going to make a ton of money this week. Go to FatJackSports.com. It's the calm before the bowl storm, $99 weekend special. Everything through Monday, only $99, including a huge weekend Sunday card going in the NFL. Get signed up at FatJackSports.com. Add some consistency to your gambling and start making money for only $99 through Monday, or everything through the end of the NCAA championship season for as little as $4.99. FatJackSports.com to win.
Looking for a fun family activity to get in the holiday spirit? Visit or volunteer for Capco's Kids to Kids Toy Drive in Grafton on Saturday, December 9th.
It's a totally free event. Capco is dedicated to bringing communities together and has collected nearly 300,000 toys through Kids to Kids.
Join us in WTMJ for a celebration of giving and bring a new unwrapped toy to help children in need this holiday season. To support, visit kidstokidstoydrive.com. And don't forget to bring toys.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
I've always talked about Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service, but I've left some things out. First of all, they've been doing it well for over 50 years. That's how you can be that good. Imagine. You're good the first year. How good would you be after 50 years to help you simplify confusing insurance decisions? It is a family-owned business, again, over 50 years. Ask them about level-funded health insurance experts. Yes, Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits, top-notch service, and been doing it well for over 50 years. 262-783. Roger Maris, 6161. Yeah, Roger Maris is a little old, but I'm not sure anybody even knows who he is. Brian Bulaga, do you know who Roger Maris is?
Yes, I know who Roger Maris is.
Yeah, but you weren't alive then.
But amazing baseball player, Hall of Famer, one of the best to ever do it. You got to know who Roger Maris is. Come on.
and he would have probably been honored that he was a farmer because he's from one of the Dakotas. To me, it's just the Dakotas. I don't think there's any difference between North and South Dakota. And he may have been he was a spectacular high school football player. I believe he scored 6 touchdowns in a game.
No, stud.
Yes, he was totally a stud and a great baseball player. He had 61 home runs in 1961, which broke Babe Ruth's record. And yes, it was expansion. So made
a movie.
They did, yes.
Correct? Yeah.
And I didn't have to see it. You know why?
Why?
I lived it. I don't got to see a movie. It's like when they came out with a movie on Pearl Harbor, my parents go, "We're not going." They go, "Well, why would you want to go?" I go, "Well, we lived it. I don't need to see a movie about what we all experienced." And yeah, Roger Maris, nobody came to the game. The crowd at Yankee Stadium when he hit home run number 61, I bet they had like 15,000 people. They were mad. They didn't want him to break it. They didn't want anybody to break it, but they wanted Mickey Mantle to break it. He was the star of the team. And so anyway, yeah, the Roger Maris. There's a book out, a very good book about Roger Maris, but I'll have to look up. I'm pretty good, but I'm old. But 6 touchdowns in a high school game. Well, all right, Raleigh, you're on 94.5 ESPN. Sorry to make you wait for Old Testament sports. Yes, Raleigh.
Hi, Homer.
Yep.
Another tidbit about Roger Maris was he hit a head of Mickey Mantle.
Yes, he did.
So the opposing pitchers, you couldn't afford to pitch around them.
Excellent point.
I don't believe he rarely walked. It surprised me. Why would you walk him? You got to face Mickey Mantle after him. But just food for thought. Question for Brian about the illegal man down field situation and him being an offensive lineman. Is there a rule of thumb or a cue that you're looking for to when you might start blocking downfield? Especially if a quarterback looks like he's going to run the ball instead. What's the thinking process out on the field?
Yeah, it's it's especially in today's age with the RPO game where, the offensive lineman, and this happened to us a couple times with our group, it's supposed to be a handoff and Aaron ends up pulling the ball and threw it outside and we'd be climbing up to linebackers and would be downfield. It's kind of one of those things that as a lineman, you don't really know when the quarterback's going to pull it and throw it. You just got to go block your assignment. And the rule is if you're engaged with your defender when I think you're farther than 2 yards downfield, you're safe. But, especially nowadays, the refs are throwing the flags no matter what. If you're a lineman downfield, even if you are engaged and the ball's thrown, they're going to call it. So as a lineman, you just kind of, when it's that run pass option type play, you just kind of got to be smart. Try to get engaged with your guy as soon as humanly possible. It's a tough situation for linemen because you don't really know, and obviously you have an assignment to do. You need to get up to the linebacker, and you have a guy to block. But that's kind of one of those things.
Can the quarterback say something like, "Hey, I'm going," and let the lineman know, "Hey, go ahead, block"? Yeah, no, because the quarterback's making that decision mid-play. He's reading the defense, and he's pulling that ball out of the running back's stomach mid-play and tossing it. So there's really no cue we get in preparation for that. You just
how often do you do something knowing of the possibility of a penalty and you go, so what? I got to do it. And
there's probably when I was with Coach LaFleur, there was probably 3 to 4 plays a game where those RPOs were definitely called, where Aaron had the option, and you just kind of got to roll with it. You just got to deal with it and just kind of hope you're on the right side of it.
Raleigh, thanks for the call, and I will tell you what I discovered on Wikipedia, which, by the way, is about 99% accurate. Teachers are against it because it makes their life harder. Roger Maris set a national high school record, which still stands. Now, that was iffy. For most return touchdowns in a game. He was playing in Fargo. 4, 2 kickoff returns, 1 punt return, and an interception return in that 1951 game. And he scored a 5th touchdown with a 32-yard run from scrimmage. It's kind of, now, I don't know how many kids go both ways, but that's the benefit there. I think that one might stand. 4 returns for touchdowns and a 5th. I apologize. He did not score 6. He scored 5.
That's impressive.
That is.
I almost feel like the kick returns count for 2. So it's like fine.
Yeah, I mean,
it's essentially 6.
It's there you go. Yeah, well, whatever. It's more amazing than I thought. I never looked it up, and this is way better than the number of touchdowns. It's what he did. And you'd like to know he met his future wife in the 10th grade at a high school basketball game. Everybody together now. Oh,
wow. Yeah. What a story.
I did not know this. He's of Croatian descent, I think. I mean, I like the Yankees because they were really good. I thought the idea as a fan was you rooted for teams that were winning. Why would you root for a team that wasn't any good? Didn't get any direction from my parents. So, like, the White Sox weren't any good. The Yankees won everything, so I rooted for the Yankees. The Green Bay Packers. We're not far from Chicago. Everybody rooted for the Bears. Why would you root for the Bears? The Packers kicked their butt. I'm rooting for the Pack. What's the point of rooting for a team if they don't win?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
I always rooted. I mean, that's why I always had a hard time with my buddies that were Cubs fans growing up. Like, the Cubs stunk. Why are you rooting for the Cubs?
Yeah,
the White Sox always had a better team. Why did you root for the White Sox?
If I had started, I would have changed teams. Like, well, wait. Yeah. You have to root. No, I don't.
Yeah. Thankfully for me, like I told you, my dad grew up on the South Side, so I was a White Sox fan. I grew up a White Sox fan. So,
No, in Chicago, you had no choice. I mean, if you had rooted for the Cubs, he'd have thrown you off the building in the 5th story.
There's no doubt.
You have a chance. You can change to the White Sox, or it'll be a short life. What do you say, Brian?
White Sox!
People think I'm making that up. I'm not. I mean, he wouldn't have thrown you off, but you didn't have any choice. You had no choice for a nice childhood that you had to be a White Sox fan, correct?
Correct. Absolutely correct.
All right, here's this Guy Liger Twitter poll question. One Monday we will not talk. You'll be on the pregame show, I'm assuming. We won't have a show. All right. Are the Packers overconfident? Or what was it? How did you put it, Pebble? Are you worried that the Packers are overconfident? How did you? Are you?
The Packers overconfident after a 3-game winning streak.
All right, I'm not. Are you?
Nope, I'm not.
Why
Not at
not? They're young. They're kids.
Yeah, they're young, but you know what? I'm just not.
All right.
There's nothing to give us that they are.
Yep.
They're just going out there and playing ball. You know what I mean? There's no chatter, as Jason said from the locker room. They're just going out there and doing it, and there's no signs that they're an overconfident team. But they're confident in themselves.
I mean, I know you're picking them to win the game. That's a no-brainer. So.
Yeah, I'm going to take them 28-10.
And we'll talk on Thursday. Thanks, Doc.
Thanks.
Brian Bulaga.
Our earlier accident westbound 94 has been cleared out of the way in the stadium interchange. Still seeing some delays, though, from about 25th Street through the stadium. Eastbound slowing down from 84th Street, again, towards 27. Southbound on 43, a heavy ride from just before Silver Spring all the way down past Capitol Drive. The northbound side is slow from Fond du Lac Avenue up to Keefe. And the other